My crazy mother-in-law insists that I give birth naturally despite my high-risk pregnancy, but when my fiancé tried to support me, she tried to undermine him. I know this gets thrown around a lot, but my mother-in-law is a textbook narcissist and has caused many issues over the years. Everything centers around her. Everything that's not done her way is an attack against her. If she doesn't get her way, then we hate her. She never cares what we think or feel, etc. My fiancé laid the law down with her since we found out I was expecting, and it's since been slightly better. I assume the threat of being cut off from her future grandchild was enough for her to behave as much as possible. While it's been a relief, it also just feels like a waiting game for a big issue to arise or some drama to happen, although I really hope it doesn't for my fiancé's sake. I know he'd cut her off if need be, but I also know it would really break him as she is the only parent he has. Anyways, since she's been behaving, she's been difficult in other ways. Nothing is a big enough deal to be an issue, and even I agree it's comments and little things I should just ignore, but being so heavily pregnant, it's all just annoying me more than normal. I feel like she is deeply jealous of me and my situation, and the way she acts like she knows best infuriates me. Firstly, everything pregnancy or parenting related, she has to have input on, and to say she didn't do it this way or this won't work and she never did this, etc. I'm always very understanding and just say, well, we want to try XYZ, or research and medical advice has changed since you have kids, but this never stops her from trying to give input where it's not wanted or needed. I know this is probably common for a lot of people with mothers-in-law, but it just makes me feel like she is looking down at my parenting abilities already and makes me anxious for when the baby is here because I don't want to constantly feel like I'm justifying or defending my choices. Secondly, my pregnancy is high risk, and I'll probably be offered an induction at 38 weeks. I completely trust the opinions of the professionals, so I will do whatever they think is best. She keeps urging me to let it happen naturally and that the baby will come whenever it's ready. She says there's no reason to intervene, and back in her day, inductions didn't happen. They want to induce me because the baby has a high risk of being stillborn the later along I am in pregnancy, as I have multiple issues with my placenta. Even if the risk is small, I'd much rather be induced than have a higher chance of stillbirth just because it's natural. Every time it comes up, I shrug it off, assuming she will give up, but she never does. Every time it comes up, she mentions how induction is bad and not needed. She has even chosen a date she thinks the baby should come on, which is over a week after my due date, which is really odd in itself to go by, especially to try and enforce because she has a feeling that'll be the day. The last thing is where the jealousy comes in. She was single through both her pregnancies and did everything herself, which I commend her for. Especially being pregnant, I know how hard it must have been for her. I'm incredibly lucky my fiancé isn't just present but very active in helping me and doting on me while I've been pregnant. He usually has to travel for work but has refused ever since we found out. He said he is uncomfortable going far away in case I need him or there is an emergency. He comes to every scan and appointment possible, is spoiling me constantly, and doing extra chores and cooking to alleviate my load. Overall, just being super lovely and nurturing. She is always making snarky comments about this, tells me I need to be more independent and to survive without him, encourages him to keep traveling for work, and always says it's fine because she did it all alone, so I can too. I understand if I had to, like she had to, then I probably could, but why would I when we are in this together? Her bitterness rubs me the wrong way, especially because if anything, she should find it so lovely that she has raised her son to be the man he is, but I feel like it just makes her jealous she didn't have that kind of support when she was pregnant.